Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Ultra. I'm Lily.
And I'm David.
So, David, I have a question for you. Most English learners say hear when they should say listen, and they don't even know why. Have you noticed that?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's me. I say hear for everything. Like, I'll say I didn't hear the teacher when maybe I wasn't really, I don't know, paying attention?
Exactly. And honestly, that's very common. A lot of students feel that way. You're not wrong for being confused about this.
Okay, good. Because sometimes I'm in class and, like, I hear English all around me. The teacher is talking, students are talking, but, I mean, I don't understand everything. And then the teacher says, David, are you listening? And I'm like, yes, I hear you. But I don't know if that's right.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? You hear the sounds, but listening is different, and we're going to talk about that today.
Okay, good, because I really need this.
So here's what happens to a lot of students. They're sitting in class, right? And the teacher is explaining something important, maybe grammar, maybe vocabulary, and the student, they hear the teacher's voice, they hear the words, but their mind is somewhere else. Maybe they're thinking about lunch, or they're tired, or they're looking at their phone under the desk.
Yeah, I've done that.
We all have. It's normal. But then later, the teacher asks, did everyone understand? And you realize, oh no, I wasn't really listening.
Right, and then I feel bad because I missed the explanation, and I have to ask my friend later, what did the teacher say?
Exactly. You heard the teacher, but you didn't listen. And that's the difference we're talking about today.
Okay, so hearing is just the sound comes to my ears.
Yes, hearing is automatic. You don't choose it. If someone talks near you, you hear it. But listening is when you pay attention, you focus, you try to understand.
Oh, so it's like effort?
Yes, listening takes effort. And you know what? Later in this episode, I'll share one tiny habit that fixes this confusion almost instantly. It's so simple, but it really works.
Ooh, okay. I'm curious now.
Good. But first, we need to understand why this feels so hard for English learners. And by the way, if you're listening to this right now, see, I said listening, not hearing. If you're listening and you want to improve your English every week with us, make sure you subscribe. We make these episodes just for you.
Yeah, and honestly, this podcast has helped me a lot. So, yeah, subscribe if you want more episodes like this.
All right. So, David, let's talk about why listen and hear feel so confusing. What do you think makes it hard?
I think it's because in my language, we don't have two different words like this. We just have one word for both.
Right. A lot of languages work that way. So when you translate to English, you're not sure which one to use. That makes total sense.
Yeah, and also, like, teachers speak really fast sometimes, so I hear the words, but I can't understand them all. And then I don't know if I should say, I didn't hear you or I wasn't listening.
That's a great question, and we're going to answer that today. But first, I want you to know this is very normal. You're not the only one who feels confused.
Okay, good. Because sometimes I feel like, I don't know, like I'm the only one who doesn't get it.
No. So many students struggle with this. And you know what? Even native speakers sometimes use these words in ways that confuse learners. So don't be hard on yourself.
All right. I'll try.
Okay, so let's break this down. Why does this feel so hard? First of all, like you said, in a lot of languages, there's just one word for both listen and hear. So when you're learning English, you have to learn to think about these two things separately.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I know the words, but I don't know when to use them.
Right. So let me give you an example. Imagine you're in class. The teacher is explaining something, and you're sitting there, but your mind is, I don't know, thinking about what you're going to eat for dinner.
Yeah, that happens.
So the teacher's voice is in the room, you hear it, You hear the sound, but are you listening?
No, I guess not.
Exactly. You hear English all day. Hear English, but you don't always listen.
Hear English. Okay, yeah, I see the difference now.
Good. So hear is passive. It just happens. You don't choose it. But listen is active. You choose to pay attention.
Okay, so when I'm in class and the teacher says, "Are you listening?" They're asking if I'm paying attention.
Yes, exactly. They're not asking if you can hear the sound. They're asking if you're focused.
Oh, that makes sense. So if I say, "Yes, I'm hearing you," that sounds wrong?
Yeah, it sounds a little strange. You would say, yes, I'm listening, or just, yes.
I'm listening. Listening. Okay, I think I'm getting it.
You are. And honestly, this is one of those things that gets easier with practice. The more you notice the difference, the more natural it becomes.
All right, so what about in real life? Like when I'm talking to a friend?
Good question. Let's say your friend is telling you a story. Maybe it's a long story about something that happened yesterday. And you're nodding, you're saying, uh-huh, but actually, you're not really paying attention.
Yeah, I've done that too.
We all have. So later, your friend says, did you hear what I said? And you might say, oh, sorry, I wasn't listening.
I wasn't listening. Wasn't listening. Okay, so I can admit that I wasn't paying attention.
Exactly. And that's honest. You heard the sounds, but you weren't listening. You weren't focused.
Got it. So here is like automatic, and listen is like I choose to focus.
Yes, you've got it. And you know what? A lot of students overthink this. They worry too much about grammar rules. But really, it's just about understanding this simple idea. Hearing is passive, listening is active.
Passive and active. I like that. That's easy to remember.
Good. So now let's talk about some real-life situations where you might use these words, because the best way to learn is to see examples.
Yeah, I agree. I learn better with examples.
Me too. All right, so let's imagine some common student situations, and we'll talk about which word to use. Okay, so first situation. You're in class, the teacher is giving instructions for homework, but there's a lot of noise in the hallway. Students are talking, someone's moving chairs, it's loud.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
So the teacher says, your homework is on page 42, but you didn't catch it because of the noise. What do you say?
I didn't hear you?
Yes, perfect. I didn't hear you is correct here because the problem was the sound. The noise blocked the words. It's not that you weren't paying attention. You couldn't hear because of the noise.
Okay, so I didn't hear you is about the sound didn't reach me.
Exactly. The sound didn't reach you clearly. So you say, sorry, I didn't hear you. Can you repeat that?
I didn't hear you. Can you repeat that? Got it.
Good. Now here's a different situation. You're in class again. The teacher is explaining something, but you're tired. You're looking at your notebook, but your mind is somewhere else. And the teacher asks, David, did you understand?
Oh no, I hate when that happens.
So you didn't understand because why? Because you couldn't hear?
No, because I wasn't listening.
Exactly. So you might say, sorry, I wasn't listening. Can you explain again?
I wasn't listening. Listening. Okay, so I'm admitting that I didn't pay attention.
Right, and that's honest. It's better to admit it and ask again than to pretend you understood.
Yeah, that's true. I don't want to miss important information.
Exactly. So remember, if the problem is sound, noise, volume, distance, you say, I didn't hear you. But if the problem is attention, you are distracted, tired, thinking about something else, you say, I wasn't listening.
Okay, sound versus attention. I like that.
Good. Now let's try another one. You're in the hallway after class. Your friend is calling your name. David, David. But you have headphones on. You don't notice.
Oh yeah, I do that all the time.
So later, your friend says, I was calling you. Didn't you hear me?
And I say, sorry, I didn't hear you. I had headphones on.
Perfect. Because the problem was sound. The headphones blocked the sound. So I didn't hear you is correct.
I didn't hear you. I had headphones on. Yeah, that sounds natural.
It does. Now, here's a common mistake I hear from students. Sometimes they say, did you listen the lecture?
Oh, is that wrong?
Yeah, it's a little off. The correct way is, did you listen to the lecture?
Listen to. To. Okay, so I need the word to after listen.
Exactly. You listen to something. You listen to music. You listen to a podcast. You listen to your teacher. But you hear something, no to.
Oh, so hear doesn't need to, but listen does.
Most of the time, yes. You can say, I hear music, or I hear you, no to. But you say, I listen to music, or I listen to you.
I listen to music. I hear music. Okay, I think I've got it now.
Great. And honestly, this is one of those things that just takes practice. The more you use it, the more natural it feels.
Yeah, I just need to, pay attention to when I use each word.
Exactly. And you know what? That tiny habit I mentioned earlier, it's going to help with this too. I'll tell you about it soon.
Ooh, right. I'm still curious about that.
Good. All right, let's do a few more examples. You're in group work in class. One student is explaining the assignment, but you're looking at your phone.
Yeah, I've done that.
So another student says, David, are you listening?
And I should say, sorry, I wasn't listening. What did you say?
Perfect, because the problem wasn't sound. You could hear them, but you weren't paying attention.
I wasn't listening. What did you say? Yeah, that sounds right.
It does. Now, let's say you're in an online class. The teacher is talking, but their microphone is cutting out. The sound is breaking up. You can't understand.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
So what do you say? I can't hear you?
Yes, I think so.
Yes, I can't hear you is perfect because the problem is sound quality. You might say, sorry, your microphone is cutting out. I can't hear you clearly.
I can't hear you clearly. Got it.
Good. So you see, the difference is really about where the problem is. Is it sound or is it attention?
Yeah, sound equals hear, attention equals listen.
Exactly. And I'll tell you, a lot of students don't realize this. They think it's just about grammar rules, but really, it's about understanding the situation.
That makes it way easier.
Right? Okay, one more example. Your friend says, did you hear about the test next week?
So they're asking if I know about it?
Exactly. Did you hear about is like asking, did you get the news? Do you know about this? Did someone tell you?
Did you hear about... Okay, so it's like, do you know?
Exactly. And you can answer, yeah, I heard about it, or no, I didn't hear about that.
I heard about it. Cool. I like that phrase.
It's super common. You'll hear it all the time in conversation. And remember, when I say you'll hear it, I mean you'll encounter it.
Right. Hear versus listen.
Exactly. All right, I think you're getting the hang of this, but let's talk about some common mistakes that students make. So, David, what are some mistakes you've made with listen and hear?
I think I used to say hear for everything. Like, I hear the teacher yesterday, when I should say, I listened to the teacher yesterday.
Exactly. That's a really common mistake. Students use hear when they should use listen to, because hear feels simpler, but it changes the meaning.
Right. So, I heard the teacher means I heard the sound?
Kind of. It means the sound reached you, but it doesn't show effort. It doesn't show that you were paying attention. I listened to the teacher shows you were focused.
I listened to the teacher. To the teacher. Okay, so that shows effort.
Exactly. And you know what? A lot of textbooks explain this in a really complicated way. They give you grammar rules and diagrams, but honestly, the best way to learn is just to notice the difference in real life.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like textbook explanations. They're too, I don't know, formal?
Right. They make it sound harder than it is, but really, it's simple. Hearing is when sound reaches your ears. Listening is when you pay attention to that sound.
Hearing and listening. Got it.
Good. Now, here's another mistake. Sometimes students say, I'm hearing music right now.
Oh, is that wrong?
Yeah, it sounds a little strange. In English, we usually say, I hear music right now, or I can hear music.
I hear music. Can hear. Okay, so we don't usually use I'm hearing.
Not really. Hear is one of those verbs we don't usually put in continuous form. We don't say, I'm hearing. We say, I hear, or I can hear.
Oh, so it's like I see, not I'm seeing.
Exactly. Same idea. You say, I see a bird, not I'm seeing a bird. And you say, I hear music, not I'm hearing music.
Got it. So hear and see don't go with ing usually.
Right. But listen is different. You can say, I'm listening to music, because listening is an action. It's something you choose to do.
I'm listening to music. Yeah, that sounds natural.
It does. So remember, I hear or I can hear, but I'm listening to.
Okay, I think I'm getting it now. Wait, can I ask another question?
Of course.
Sometimes I see phrases like listen up or hear me out. What do those mean?
Ooh, good question. Those are phrasal verbs. Listen up means pay attention. I'm about to say something important.
Oh, so if a teacher says, listen up, class, they're saying, pay attention now.
Exactly. And hear me out means let me finish explaining before you judge or interrupt.
Hear me out. So, like, I know this sounds crazy, but hear me out.
Yes, perfect example. It's asking someone to listen completely before they react.
Cool. I like those phrases.
They're super useful, and honestly, learning these little phrases is just as important as learning the grammar rules, because this is how real people talk.
Yeah, I agree. I want to sound natural, not like a textbook.
Exactly. All right, so I think you're doing great with this, but let's practice a little more with some specific situations. I'll describe a situation, and you tell me if you'd use hear or listen.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, first one. You're in class. The teacher says, open your books to page 35, but you were looking out the window and you missed it. Your friend asks, did you blank what page?
Um, did you hear what page?
Yes, perfect. Because you're asking if they caught the information. The sound was there, but you missed it.
Did you hear what page? Yeah, that sounds right.
Good. Next one. You're studying at home with music on, but you need to concentrate. So you turn off the music because you want to blank to the podcast instead.
Um, listen to the podcast?
Exactly. Because listening takes focus. You're choosing to pay attention.
Listen to the podcast. Got it.
Great. Okay, here's another one. You're walking to class with headphones on. Your friend is behind you saying your name, but you don't notice. Later, they say, I was calling you. Couldn't you blank me?
Couldn't you hear me?
Perfect. Because the problem was sound. The headphones blocked it.
Couldn't you hear me? Yeah.
Good. Now, you're in a group project meeting. One person is explaining their idea, but you're thinking about something else. Another student says, "Are you blank?"
Are you listening?
Yes, because they're asking if you're paying attention, not if you can hear the sound.
Are you listening? Yep, that makes sense.
Excellent. Okay, let's try this one. You're in the library. Two students next to you are talking loudly. You're trying to study, but you can blank their conversation.
I can hear their conversation.
Perfect, because it's automatic. The sound is reaching you whether you want it to or not.
I can hear their conversation.
Yeah, I've been in that situation. We all have. All right, one more. Your teacher is giving homework instructions. You write everything down carefully because you want to make sure you blank to all the details.
Um, listen to all the details?
Yes, because you're actively paying attention. You're focusing on purpose.
Listen to all the details. Cool.
Great job. You're really getting this. And you know what? That habit I mentioned earlier, it's basically what you're doing right now.
Really? What do you mean?
Well, you're noticing the difference between sound and attention. Every time you ask yourself, is this about sound or attention? You're training your brain to use the right word.
Oh, so the habit is just asking myself that question?
Kind of. Let me explain it more. But first, I want to tell you a story.
Okay, I'm ready. What's the story?
So, when I first started teaching English, I had a student named Marco. And Marco was really frustrated because he kept mixing up listen and hear.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Right? So one day, Marco came to class and said, "I listened your voicemail 3 times, but I still don't understand." And I said, "Wait, do you mean you heard my voicemail?"
Oh, yeah. What's the difference there?
Well, I heard your voicemail means the sound reached you, but I listened to your voicemail means you paid attention to it. But the real issue was he forgot the two.
Oh, he should say, I listened to your voicemail.
Exactly. And Marco said, "This is so hard. How do I remember?" And I told him, just ask yourself, is this about effort or not?
Effort?
Yeah, if you're making an effort to pay attention, it's listen. If it's just sound happening automatically, it's hear.
Oh, so listen equals effort, hear equals automatic.
Exactly. And you know what? Marco practiced this way for a few weeks, and he got so much better. He would stop himself and think, am I talking about effort or automatic sound?
That's actually really helpful. So that's the habit? Just ask myself that question?
Yes. Every time you're about to use hear or listen, just pause for 1 second and ask, is this about effort or automatic sound? And once you do that a few times, it becomes automatic.
Listen equals effort, hear equals automatic. I like that. It's simple.
It is. And honestly, David, you're already improving. Like in this conversation, you've been using them correctly without even thinking about it.
Really?
Yeah, you said, I wasn't listening earlier. You said, I didn't hear you in the right context. You're getting it.
Oh, cool. I didn't even notice.
That's the best part. Once you understand the concept, it starts to feel natural. You don't have to overthink it anymore.
Yeah. I don't know, I feel like I get it now. Not just the words, but the feeling behind them.
Exactly. The feeling, that's what matters. You're not just memorizing rules, you're understanding how they're used in real life.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to try to use this habit. Like, whenever I want to use hear or listen, I'll just ask myself, effort or automatic?
Perfect. And honestly, you're gonna mess up sometimes. That's okay. Everyone does. But the more you practice, the easier it gets.
Yeah. I'm not going to be perfect right away.
No one is, and that's totally fine. Learning a language takes time, but you're doing great.
Thanks. I needed to hear that.
See? You used hear correctly there. You needed to hear, like receive, that encouragement.
Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, I'm getting it.
All right, so before we finish, I have a question for you. And this is for everyone listening, too.
Okay, what is it?
When do you hear English but don't really listen?
That's a good question. Um, I think when I'm tired, like when I've been studying all day and I'm exhausted, I'll hear my teacher talking, but my brain is just, I don't know, not there.
Right, your mind is wandering.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm physically in the classroom, but mentally, I'm thinking about sleep.
That's so relatable. And you know what? That's normal. Everyone has those moments. The important thing is to recognize it. Like if you catch yourself zoning out, you can snap back and focus again.
Yeah, sometimes I'll realize, oh, wait, I haven't been listening, and then I'll try to focus again.
That's good. That's self-awareness. And honestly, that's a skill. Noticing when you're not focused is just as important as focusing itself.
I never thought about it that way. So, like, if I notice I'm not listening, I can fix it.
Exactly. You can choose to start listening again, and that's the power of listen. It's a choice.
I like that. Okay, so my answer is I hear English when I'm tired, but I don't always listen because my brain needs rest.
Perfect answer. And honestly, that's something a lot of students can relate to. Like you're in class at the end of the day, you're exhausted, and you can't focus anymore.
Yeah, and sometimes I feel bad about it, but I mean, I'm human.
Exactly. You're human. You're not a robot. It's okay to have those moments. The important thing is to be honest with yourself and, ask for help when you need it.
Right. Like, if I missed something, I can ask the teacher to repeat it.
Exactly. And that's not a weakness. That's being a good student. You're making sure you understand.
Yeah. Okay, I feel better about that now.
Good. And for everyone listening, see, listening again, if you have an answer to this question, think about it. When do you hear English but don't really listen? Is it when you're tired? When you're stressed? When there's too much noise? Notice that, because once you notice it, you can start to change it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And you know what? You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to listen 100% of the time. But when something is important, like class instructions or a conversation with a friend, that's when you want to make sure you're really listening.
Right. Prioritize.
Exactly. Prioritize your attention. And that's a skill that helps in English and in life.
Yeah, I agree. All right, this has been really helpful.
I'm glad. And honestly, I hope this helps everyone listening too, because listen and hear are such common words, and getting them right can make you sound so much more natural.
Yeah, and it's not as hard as I thought it would be.
Right? Once you understand the concept, it's actually pretty simple. Effort versus automatic. That's it.
Effort versus automatic. I'm going to remember that.
All right, David, I think we covered a lot today.
Yeah, we did. My brain is full.
In a good way, I hope.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I actually understand this now. Not just the words, but like when to use them.
That's awesome. And you know what? This is just the beginning. The more you practice, the more natural it's going to feel.
Yeah, I'm excited to try it out in real conversations.
You should be. And honestly, don't worry if you mess up sometimes. Everyone does. The important thing is that you're learning.
Right. Thanks, Lily. This was really helpful.
Of course, I'm so glad. And thank you to everyone who listened to this episode. We really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, seriously. Like, it means a lot that you're spending your time learning English with us.
Exactly. And remember, learning a language is a journey. You're not going to be perfect overnight. But every time you practice, every time you notice the difference between listen and hear, or any other tricky words, you're getting better,
Yeah, little by little.
little by little. And you know what? That's how everyone learns. Even native speakers had to learn this stuff when they were kids.
True.
So be patient with yourself and keep going. You're doing better than you think.
Thanks. All right, so should we wrap this up?
Yeah, I think so. Before we go, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe. We have new episodes every week, and we cover all kinds of topics that help English learners.
Yeah, and if you have any questions or topics you want us to cover, let us know. We love hearing from you.
Exactly. We make this podcast for you, so your feedback really helps.
All right. So, yeah, keep learning, keep listening.
Keep going.
See you next time.
Bye, everyone.